everyone, my name's Kelly and I've been MIA for a week or so because I was sick and then I was just really busy, but I'm back now to do an unhaul video because I'm in full swing of packing to leave Japan and I'm trying to really get the weight of the boxes I'll be shipping to my mum's house in Spain down to a minimum. It's still going to be like 40-50 kilos, so it's kind of a futile effort, but I am going to try, and that means sacrificing some books. Some of them more painful to let go of than others, and I also wanted to do a video where I mentioned the African Library project, which Shannon from Cozy Tea Reads is using to celebrate her 50,000 subscribers, and I thought that was a really amazing idea, and I did want to send something to her for the African Library project, so I'll mention that at the end. First thing I'm going to do is show you some of the books that I am getting rid of. First, and probably least painfully, I'll be getting rid of this bind-up of the Forbidden Game trilogy by L.J.Smith. It features The Hunter, The Chase, and The Kill. And my friend Jade recommended this to me, and I trust her opinion, but I also think there are some books that, you know, you discover them at a time when you are ripe to fall in love with them, and that was not the time for me. I found this, well, I didn't finish reading it, I got to about here. I just found it a bit too young, and the one character that I was interested in, I know what happens to that character at the end, and I'm not really interested in sticking around for it, so I'll be giving this to my local book off, or selling it, I think. Another one I'll be selling to book off, but I'm a little more reluctant about it, is this one, The Meta Secret by Gill, and this kind of is on the bandwagon of The Secret by Rhonda Byrne and all the other sort of Law of Attraction books, and it's a really nice hardback with those nice kind of fake stained pages, and I found it in book off originally for 500 yen. And it's nice, but it's really, really heavy, and it all adds up, and I need to be ruthless, so I'm thinking of giving this back to book off. The rest is pretty much all Japanese books, because that's mostly what I have here. That's the wrong way up. I'm going to be letting go of The Princess Diaries by Meg Cabot. This is actually volume 4. I bought it thinking it was volume 1, of course. I've never actually read the Princess Diaries series even in English, and I thought it would be good reading practice for me. But I don't really want to buy the other 3 just so that I can keep this one, no matter how much I love the cover of this. I really love the covers of these. So what I ended up doing was ordering book 1 on the internet in the same sort of cover series as this, and it's arrived, but it's actually a hardback, and I think I prefer the paperback of these. So I'm going to let go of this book 4 before I give in to my urge to buy volumes 2 and 3. I actually only just hauled this one, but this is Uragiri wa boku no namae o shitteiru, which means Betrayel Knows My Name, and I've seen the anime, and the anime was the most ridiculous emo fest, and it kind of looks like the manga is the exact same thing, so although I think the art is really rather cool. I'm so far from the camera you probably can't see this, but the art is really nice, and this character here, Zess, I really like, but ultimately I probably won't read this one because I know what's going to happen and the anime has put me off. Next I have volume 9 of the manga 7 Ghost. This is an amazing manga and a great anime, but the anime doesn't have an end, which is why I have treated myself to the entire manga series. However, I have duplicates accidentally. I bought 2 of volume 9, so of course I'm letting this one go. I'm also getting rid of Airen, and I'm not sure what that means in Japanese. Airen. I don't know, maybe something like passionate lover or something, I'm not sure. But I'm not going to read this, it's trashy. I know this mangaka, this artist and writer, I'm pretty sure she did kaikan phrase or sensual phrase, and I read that when I was a teenager and I loved it, but I'm kind of past that stage now, so I'm going to get rid of this one. Next up to be unhauled, I have this very sweet little volume by Sakura Momoko, who is an author and manga artist that I really like. She's very funny, the art is very basic but evocative, and it follows a girl called, this one follows a girl called Chippy Marco, who is her most famous character, and she's a schoolgirl with a very funny family and a funny school life, and I just like seeing what she gets up to and sort of some of the school rituals that I recognise because I've worked in Japanese schools. Like at the beginning here, she's walking home carrying something called a morning glory, which is this plant that they have to take care of and grow over the summer because they've always got to be doing something. God knows Japanese school kids cannot just have a holiday. But the only reason I'm getting rid of this one is because I own a seriously gorgeous hardback copy of it in Spain, which I only actually remembered when I was there for Christmas looking through the boxes, and I thought, it's the same one. This is the first of the slightly painful ones because this is a beautiful deluxe edition of Hana Yori Dango, or Boys Over Flowers, and this was an anime and a TV drama that really kind of stoked my obsession with Japan before I actually came here. But I'm not actually interested in reading the manga because it's quite dated, it's quite 80s, the faces are very round and soft, and I don't like soft faces, I quite like my angular pointed chins. And I probably won't read it, and it's really heavy. But it was only 105 yen for this pretty much brand spanking new deluxe. Oh god, what am I doing? This may be one that I regret after I've left Japan. But by far the most painful sacrifice and the potentially biggest regret is this one here. This is Saiyuki Reload, and it's an amazing series. Amazing. And these are all beautiful, pretty much new, heavy paper, gorgeous quality editions that cost me 105 yen each. It's obscene. But they are slightly more advanced, slightly more grown-up manga, and they don't have this, it's something called furigana, which is when they use kanji to write a word, maybe a slightly more difficult word. Kanji is Chinese characters that the Japanese took from China. And furigana is when they use one of their simpler alphabets to sort of write above the phonetic pronunciation of those characters because they're complicated and it's difficult to remember them all. And without those furigana, I can't look it up in my electronic dictionary and figure out what it's saying if it's a word I don't know, which it often is in this series because this is kind of historical and yeah. So that might not make me keen to read it, and it's really heavy, as you can see from the fact that my, that is popping up because it's so heavy. So I think I'm going to let it go. I am going to let it go. The next one I'm kind of getting rid of for the same reason, and that is I no Kusabi, which I think means Wedge of Love. And this is a classic in its genre, and the genre is male love. It's a homosexual love story, although that makes it sound much softer than it is. It's kind of really about passion and obsession and class divides. This is set in a science fiction-y futuristic world where the ruling class is called the Blondies, and this guy here, Riku, is from the slums. Blondies take a human pet who's basically like a sex slave, and then they breed the pets among themselves, and they trade in pets, and it sounds really sordid now that I've said it that way, but it's actually a really, really interesting story because these two characters are really interesting. It's not just like titillating, ooh, it's two men in love. It's really deep and really enjoyable and ultimately quite tragic. So I thought I would like to read this, but as reading Japanese is quite difficult to begin with, I kind of like to read things that look prettier than this, and the fact that this is such an old, dated, kind of yellowed copy means that maybe I won't be bothered so much when I have so many other prettier things to read. And that was a very long explanation. I'm getting rid of this. Now, I haven't fully decided about this last one, but there is a possibility I will get rid of the Kimi ni Todoke, or From Me to You manga series. I have volumes 1 to 12. I'm only holding a few of them right now. I recently sort of gathered the rest ready to haul them, but I'm thinking now, since I've seen the anime, maybe I won't be that bothered about this one. And the anime wasn't sort of so engrossing that I would necessarily read the manga, although the manga is really cute. I'm trying to make excuses to bring the weight of my boxes down. I'm starting to panic. It's not a good thing. Okay, so I'm worried this video is going to be really long now, but we're at the end, and it's the part where I talk about the amazing African library project that Shannon from Cozy Tea Reads is hosting to celebrate 5,000 subscribers, and the books that I will be donating to help build a library for school children in Africa. Number 1 is Lucas by Kevin Brooks. I own this in a box in Spain from years ago, but I wanted to read it again, so I ordered a second-hand copy, and I have remembered why I love it. It's painfully realistic, like gut-churningly wanting to avert your eyes realistic, but also somehow kind of magical. Lucas is the magic in this book, and there's a line on the front cover that says, "I saw his pale blue eyes, his fleeting presence, and then the air started moving again." And I think fleeting is the word for Lucas. I love him very much, and it's also, there's something very British about this book, because, and I don't mean British in the sense of the way people outside of Britain think of us as being, you know, sort of stick in the ass, plum in the mouth. This is much more real, much more true to us, and it's not always flattering. The next one I went to Book Off especially to buy because I saw it there for 300 yen, and I love this book. I also own this one in Spain, but I wanted to buy it for the children in Africa, and it is Holes by Louis Sacher. This is about a boy called Stanley Yelnats who has very bad luck. I think there's a curse on him or his family from a couple of generations ago, and he is sent to a boys' detention centre called Camp Green Lake, although there is no lake and there is no green. It's basically in the desert, and all Stanley has to do every day, all day, is dig holes, 5 foot by 5 foot square holes. And why is what you will find out, and it's so good. This is a good book. If you haven't read this yet, you should read it, and I definitely think that some children in Africa should get to read this. So yeah, these are the two I'm going to be sending. Probably cheaper if I just bought them from like an American website and had them sent directly to Shannon, but this has the personal touch, so I'm sending them, and I hope that some other people will get some pleasure out of them. If you have any books that you could donate, I think Shannon needs, it's either 1,000 or 2,000, and that's quite a big difference, but it's 1,000 kind of number, a lot of books, and she also needs $500. So if you can help out in any way you can, I'm sure she'd be very grateful, and it's a great project. I spent some time in Africa when I was a child. My family used to live on a boat, so we went travelling to Africa and back on our boat, and encountering many amazing things along the way, including storms and crocodile pits and pirates and eventual sinkings. But Africa was the highlight because the people there were so kind, and I remember queuing for bread in the mornings. They used to have these amazing like French sticks, amazing, like hot from the oven, and we would join the end of the queue, and the people at the front would always like urge us to go to the front, and I felt uncomfortable because it felt a little bit subservient, like sort of subservience to white people, and I didn't want that, of course, but I think they were just being truly friendly, and they were very nice to me. I remember I wanted to buy a wooden elephant while I was there, and I wanted the perfect wooden elephant, and I found one, but I was practicing my bartering skills, so for weeks I would go to that market and try to get it for the price I want, and they never did. They never gave it to me for the price I want, but I caved eventually and I bought it, and I named the elephant Barter, and it's actually the only thing that my mum managed to rescue of my belongings when the boat sank. It's a whole big story, but yeah, she rescued my elephant Barter, and I'll always remember bartering for him, but ultimately failing to get the price down. But when I did buy him, the people at the market stall, they're just all smiles, all laughter, obviously just laughing at me, this like 12-year-old princess demanding things from them, but they took it in good spirit, and they actually gave me a necklace, like a protective necklace called a juju, and I still have that somewhere in a box in Spain. So Africa is wonderful, the African people were very good to me, and I'm going to send them a couple of books. So if you can, please do the same. Alright, thank you very much for watching my video, and I'm sorry it's so long. Bye bye.